Welcome to our podcast, Inspiring Living, with me, Mark Candelaria. I am an architect, blogger, traveler, chef, father, and husband. I'm the founder and now partner of a fabulous 25-person architecture firm specializing in high-end residential architecture, designing amazing homes across the country. We have hosted tours to Italy, Spain, and now Napa over the last 20 years, and in the course of all this, I have met a lot of interesting people who truly inspire me. Our podcast is about all the opportunities that are right there in front of us to inspiring living. Yes, we will talk about architecture and design, but every week we will venture into all sorts of topics that will inspire you, teach you, and motivate you to inspire living every day. My guests will include a wide gamut of amazing people, from those in the design industry to clients to real estate professionals, chefs, artists, sports figures, and philanthropists, and people who just flat out get it. Sit back and enjoy, and let's have some fun exploring all the opportunities that are there just waiting for us. Please subscribe and get ready to be inspired every week. Okay, as my dad says, here we go. Because inspiring living is all about the people and the organizations that inspire us, we are excited to have Monogram Appliances as one of our sponsors. Anytime we do a new kitchen or a kitchen remodel, Monogram Appliances are what we recommend to our client. Their appliances are the definition of luxury, meticulously detailed using the finest materials and an ownership experience that is second to none. This is how Monogram is always thinking ahead and inspiring and elevating the kitchen experience. Because at Monogram, they don't just elevate one thing, they elevate everything. Welcome everyone, and thanks again for listening to our podcast, Inspiring Living. We are now halfway through June, and like I said last week and the week before that, what a year. That is all I can say, and this year is not even half over. Meanwhile, we are now in week 14 of working from home at Candelaria Design, and we were slated to come back tomorrow, but we've decided that due to the spike now in new cases of the COVID-19, we're just going to keep working from home until mid-July. We can do it, and we're thinking it's better to take it slow and be safe. We continue to stay busy between the people moving here from both coasts of the country and those that have been cooped up in their homes and are now ready to remodel. So yeah, we have actually gotten busier and busier since March when this whole thing came down. So we have persevered now through pandemics, riots, and now fires here in Arizona. And you know what? We just keep going. So thanks to those of you who tuned into our last Instagram on our Candelaria page for our 4th cooking class. This time we made my bourbon Instapot short ribs. The edited video is now on IGTV on both our Candelaria page and my personal Instagram. It's on the Candelaria Design YouTube page, and it's posted on our Candelaria Design website. So check it out. It's an easy recipe, and I guarantee you will love it. We are working on putting our Candelaria Design Tour Napa tour together for this September. We had originally set this for April, but obviously had to put the brakes on, and so we will see if September is a possibility. With the rise in cases here and now in China again, who knows? Who knows? So we're gonna be optimistically hopeful that we can pull this thing together. So just direct message me if you want some information on the tour. Like I said, all the info's on our website. Check it out. Okay, thanks again to all of you who have been listening to our podcast as our listeners keep growing nicely. Thanks to all who tuned into Charles Keller's podcast last week with the Colton Cowell Foundation Cave of Compassion. And we have another good one for you today. Today's podcast is a collage of guests, all either in Italy right now or have ties to Italy and have been on my podcast before. We will start with Elizabeth Wholey, who just made it back to Umbria, and what her journey back was like, and now she's in quarantine there in Umbria and what that is like. Then to my good friend Marco Felicioli of Artitalia Group right here in Old Town Scottsdale, and what it was like for him to defend his showroom during the riots in Scottsdale a couple weeks ago. Then we'll go to my friend Flavio Casagrande, who is in lockdown in London, but is from Italy and does his business, in this case steel windows, from Italy, and his perspective on things. And finally, my good friend Gabriele Belli from Umbria and his family business at Porta del Passato, where we have purchased doors, roof tiles, fireplaces, all kinds of fun products and antiquities for our homes here in Scottsdale and across the country. It is interested to hear these perspectives of how this whole COVID-19 has affected them personally and Italy in general. So listen in, okay? Okay, have a great week, everyone. Stay safe, and the Candelarias love y'all. My first guest is a very, very good friend of mine. It's Elizabeth Wholey, and she was on our second podcast. And I think, Elizabeth, you were my my first true guest other than Isabel to be on my podcast. And here you are. I think we're on podcast number 44. And we've got you at 7 a.m. in the morning in Umbria, Italy. I'm here at 10 o'clock in Arizona. So I want to say thank you for getting up so early for me.
Actually, it was very easy. I was automatically waking up anyway because I'm jet lagged. So it's about 10, I guess, 10 o'clock San Francisco time.
Yep.
So I'm still kicking over here.
Yeah. So when did you return? When did you return to Umbria?
I left on Wednesday, got here on Thursday last week.
Okay, so just real recently. And so just for my listeners who don't know, Elizabeth, you're originally from California, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and then you've been in Umbria. You've been living in Umbria for how long?
I think 27 years now.
27 years, yeah. So the way I know Elizabeth is from our Candelaria tours. We rent a compound of houses in central Umbria, and Elizabeth runs the show there and treats us well when we arrive with a fabulous dinner, and then we have our cooking class a few days later. And now she's even added a wine tour to her repertoire, and last year that was absolutely fantastic. And so we've known each other for about 20 years. We're pretty darn close now, I would say, right?
It's hard to believe, yeah, but it's true. Yeah, a lot of good memories.
Yeah, lots of memories, lots of trips.
And this year we were going to celebrate your 60th birthday together.
Yeah, well, we haven't given up on that thought yet. I mean, I still think there's an outside chance that, maybe they lift the quarantine and things don't look so bad come October. And I tell you what, I'm sure we could get some good airfares. Well, you could probably answer that question better than I can because you just flew home. But if there's any chance in the world that we can make it, I think we're going to still try to do it. So we'll see.
Oh, that would be fabulous. I'd love to see you, and I'd love to be able to celebrate with you.
Yeah. And so
by then things, the flight should be much smoother and much more manageable. I think people will have everything figured out better than they did for me on this trip.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your trip. You left from San Francisco, and you were trying to book different routes to get home, and I know you faced some challenges in doing so.
Right. First I booked. I had my regular return flight. I should have arrived on April 1st, but that was the height of the coronavirus problem here, and especially in Italy.
Right.
And then the United added an extra flight for me, stopping in New Jersey, and things were just getting hot there too. So I really did not want to do that. I'm older now. I'm 74, and a couple of years, actually 4 years ago now, I had a heart valve repair.
Yep.
And I just feel like I have to be careful. So I decided I should not fly on that United flight, which I was already scheduled on. I'm a little upset with them because they haven't refunded me, even though they added an extra flight, an extra stop rather. So I've questioned that. I've written them a letter, but I haven't heard back from them yet. And they haven't refunded me.
Wow.
Then immediately I got what I thought was going to be this ideal flight on Lufthansa, which is a partner of United. So I was able to use miles. And it was going to be a red-eye overnight flight, direct flight to San Francisco to Munich, then to Florence. And I would be picked up by my taxi driver friend and driven home here.
That would have been pretty good.
That would have been great. And I would still do that flight again if they ever start running again. But they canceled at the last minute. So I was really upset by that. And so then I immediately said, well, I'm going to try Altalia because they will understand that I have a medical problem. That's the reason I was giving for returning.
Yep.
And that I should have been able to return based on that. Also, my permesso di soggiorno, which is my visa, was going to be up at the end of May, and I didn't want to run into problems there. And I thought the Italians would understand. But according to our local police here, they've now extended those visas that are up because there's not enough police to handle new renewals.
Wow.
So because they're out policing the streets, making sure everyone's staying inside, or they were anyway. Yeah, things are looser now. So anyway, I booked through Alitalia, but they put me on with their partner. So I was flying first on a Delta from San Francisco to Los Angeles, and then on Air France to Paris from Los Angeles to Paris, and then Alitalia finally down to Rome, and then I would take the taxi back home.
Right.
So when I got to San Francisco, they saw that my visa was expired, and they said I couldn't fly. I showed them a certificate, this auto certification, it's called, that everyone has to fill out going over there right now. Why I was going, because for health reasons, I had backup from my doctor to show this.
Yep.
And so the fellow at the desk said, okay, you can fly. So I was fine. He booked me. He gave me 2 boarding passes. So I was fine to go to Los Angeles. I got to Los Angeles, and I realized that I hadn't gotten a final boarding pass from Paris to
Rome.
So I was just up at the desk in Los Angeles questioning why I didn't get, or should I have a boarding pass?
Right.
And they said, oh, you can't fly. Your visa's expired. And I showed them my health information, and they just were not knowledgeable. They said, no, you can't fly. So what I did, I looked on my iPhone, and I saw the site that we use to check our visas, and there was a paragraph that said they were extended until the end of August. I showed them that. They took a screenshot of that. Then they had me email that note to somebody at either immigration or maybe it was Air France. Anyway, I got permission to get on. After that, everything went smoothly. I have to say, the airlines are very well set up. It's just at the desk, I think they're understaffed.
Yeah.
Right now, and they're confused. They're not sure what's going on.
No, you got to think there's so many rules and stuff that they're just probably not aware of,
Yeah. So you have to allow extra time, too.
Yeah.
So in San Francisco, I got there very early. My friends took me in and waited until I was all set up and saw that I was checked in. So they're just it's confusing still. So you really have to allow plenty of time.
Yeah.
And they're allowing, and of course, there's social distancing. So, but once you're on the plane, once I was on the plane, I had a very good experience on all of the flights.
Good.
Everybody, you get on, they give you a hand sanitizer immediately. I was well spaced apart. There is not much movement up and down the aisles. On the long flight to Paris, the hostess only came by a couple times. Once to deliver a lunch, which was all covered in cellophane, and another time to pick up the garbage. They weren't constantly passing water like they normally do, or offering drinks or anything like that. So it's pretty bare bones.
Yeah.
The movies weren't very good. I think they're really cutting back. But it didn't matter. I felt very safe on those flights. So, as you say, everybody was wearing the mask. Um, I didn't use the bathroom the whole time.
Wow.
I was really careful about not drinking very much, and I noticed hardly anybody was going up and down those aisles. So I think, but anyway, it was fine.
Yeah.
I arrived in Rome an hour late. I had to be picked up by a taxi or take a private car. There's no public transportation. And I just had to report on this auto certification, who was picking me up, his email and phone number, all of that information. And those certifications are, I believe they're on, there's a very good site you might be interested in. It's called thelocal.it for Italy. It's capital THE, capital LOCAL .it, and it's a newspaper for foreigners, and it has all the latest news. It's really a great service.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's great. Thanks for sharing that.
I got home. I finally took off my mask.
Wow.
After 22 hours.
Holy mackerel.
Well, I had changed it a couple times. I changed it a couple times during the flight. My friend Tiziana, who's our cleaning lady up at AltaBella, she'd clean my house. She delivered groceries.
Oh, that's nice.
Another friend bought me this little throwaway phone that I'm talking to you on, because in order to keep my same phone number, my traditional phone number, I have to go in personally and get a SIM card in town and after I'm out of quarantine. But Paola was able to help me out with that a little bit. I had to send a note to the local medical group stating my name, address, my telephone, the flights I've taken.
Wow.
And then I was told I would be in quarantine for 2 weeks. A woman has called me on Monday and checked in on me, and she probably will be continuing to check in on me to see that I'm well.
Yeah.
I was very healthy in San Francisco. I walked a lot. I was with my friends. We social distanced anytime we went out, which was rarely.
Yeah.
I think twice we took rides go to Berkeley and once down to Sonoma, just for fun to get out a little bit. So I feel very healthy.
Yeah, well, you sound good.
Very happy. I'm very happy to be home.
Well, there's nothing quite like being in Umbria. It's a very special place for Isabel and I and the travelers that have been on our trips many, many times. And you are definitely in a little slice of heaven there in the middle of Italy. I'll tell you, it's just such a beautiful place.
Oh, yeah. Well, today is market day, and I'm there today. And my friend Nancy, who has another nice little site called Nancy Goes to Italy. She's right above the Bar Mary, right on the piazza, on the main piazza.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So she takes shots of the market.
Oh,
and they set it all up, and they check you going in.
Wow.
And not all the vendors are there, but most of them are. And it's very well organized. There are tents set up. And we have that market. And then we have the Saturday market, which is all the local producers. They call it Kilometer Zero, because everybody, like our honey guy and wine people and vegetable people, they're all selling. So things are starting up again.
That's great.
Restaurants are doing, the ones who have nice backyards, or gardens, are able to have tables that are separated enough. Yeah. So they've all opened up again.
Good.
But of course, I haven't been there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you got a little more time to go. But yeah, I always call it the farmers market in Umbria today. It's one of my favorites. I love that Wednesday because, of course, I get to go to the market in the morning, and then I go visit my friend Gabriele over in, I forget the little town where they've got all the beautiful antiques. And then we finish that day with your cooking class at AltaBella, which is definitely the highlight of our trip. And we go to some fabulous places over the course of our tour, but everybody talks about that Wednesday when we have our cooking class in the house. Yeah, it's one of the best. It's one of the best moments I've ever had in my life, and I've had some great moments, but those memories are. Go ahead.
It's just such a communal thing.
Yeah.
It's lovely to be with friends and everybody. You are your real self.
Yeah.
When you're cooking.
That's for sure.
So
and yeah, we get real sometimes. That's for sure. But we've had so much fun.
No, it's lots of fun.
Yeah, and we've brought a lot of that feeling back with us. And I don't know if you know, you may have seen on social media, we just opened our new kitchen in our office. We actually built a whole kitchen in our office because of the experience that we have at AltaBella, and we're replicating that now. Once we can, start doing it, and we really we're doing cooking classes and having people there, and it's basically bringing that whole concept that you do so perfectly there in Umbria. We are trying to do it here in the United States in our little kitchen. Yeah.
Right. Well, someday maybe I'll come visit you.
Well, we would love that, but I think I'd rather come visit you, to be honest with you. And so we're hoping and praying that what you said today was very encouraging. That sounds like things are slowly getting back to some kind of new normal, and we love Italy so much that we want to be the first people to help support it. I'm sure there's not many travelers or tourists there right now, but I know there's a lot of people that are just dying to get back to Italy, and we're definitely two of them for sure.
Well, I feel like I'm kind of a pioneer. People are really interested about my experience.
Yeah.
And you know what? Because at this point, Americans are not allowed in.
No.
Without a good excuse.
Right.
So, and if they do get in, like me, there's this 2-week quarantine.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to stay for a while if you do get in.
Right.
And I don't think I'm ever leaving again.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stay here forever.
Yeah, I think so.
I have to tell you one thing. On the way up, was a taxi driver, Diego. I don't know if you know him. He's from Pregio, right above AltaBella.
Yep.
And he's a great guy. I think his company, either he or his company have driven us before. But he said the olives are going to be really good this year. And he said, and usually it follows that the wine it's a good wine year also. So there are loads of little yellow blossoms, which are the olive blossoms on the tree.
Wow.
And people are very excited about this.
Well, that's good to hear. There's got to be something good happening somewhere.
Also, and also a lot of our vendors here are doing mail order things like the truffle people.
Oh, great.
And Rosanna is selling the wines online now.
Oh, good.
Or not online, but she will ship to people. They're very good prices. And they have a new rosé that's really nice. I haven't tried it yet, but she says we have to get together and try it. So as soon as I'm out of quarantine, I'm going to do some celebrating.
Yeah, well, you have every right to be celebrating, that's for sure. And so what I want you to do for me is keep me posted on everything that's going on as you see things, lifting and hopefully getting back to normal. Please keep me noted, because we will try to be the first people back over there. And in terms of like this olive oil and the wine and truffles, and if there's any opportunities that we can support you and the local people there, we want to do it. So let us know. We'll be happy to buy some more wine. We met some wonderful people in Spello this last year. They came and actually cooked dinner for us here in Phoenix and brought several of their wines. And I think our group that night bought $25,000 worth of wine. So we love Umbria. Let's put it that way.
Now, who was that?
It was Roberto, and it's Enoteco Propertio.
Ah, great.
Yes, they're
that
fabulous.
Was in Montepulciano?
No, in Spello.
No. In Spello, oh, great.
Yes.
Oh, how wonderful
yeah.
they did that.
The father, the mother, the son, and his wife or his girlfriend or sister, I can't remember. They all came, 4 of them. They gave us a list of things to buy for the dinner. They shipped some of the things over for dinner, like the pastas and the lentils, and then they shipped all the wine. Right. We did they cooked the whole dinner here in my house, did a tasting, and of course at that point we couldn't say no, and everyone bought, oodles of cases of wine. But I'll tell you what, the timing was perfect because it was in February, and a month later we were shut down, and all our wine arrived like the week before the shutdown. And I was like, this is perfect. We're set. Yeah. But
I want to tell you we have a new pasta maker in Umbria today.
Oh, good.
And they're growing this old type of grain. It's called Senatore Capelletti, or Capelli, I think. Senatore Capelli. You can actually, if Google this kind of grain online.
Wow.
It's an old type of, anyway, it's fantastic pasta.
Huh.
Anyway, so maybe we can visit there next time you come.
That sounds good. Well,
there's so much.
I know. Well, that's why we keep coming back. It never ends. It's like it goes forever and ever, and it's just little Umbria, and it's like this is endless. You could explore it forever. So we're excited. So I hope you keep us posted, and we will try to come in October if we can. If there's any way possible we can do it, we're gonna do it.
Okay, that would be terrific. We'd love to see you.
Well, take care of yourself. It's great to hear your voice. I feel like you're sitting here right next to me, talking to me like you did on that podcast back in September. I miss you.
That's a great idea. I could talk to you much longer, but anyway, I'll let you go.
All right.
And I'll keep you posted.
Sounds good, Elizabeth. Ciao, ciao. We love you.
Okay. Ciao.
Bye-bye. Okay, from Umbria now, we're going to come back to Scottsdale, and we're going to talk to my good friend Marco Felicioli of Artitalia Group right here in Scottsdale. I want to first introduce my good friend Marco Felicioli, who's right here in Scottsdale, and he has his company Artitalia, right? Not the airline, not Alitalia.
Not the airline, not the airline, absolutely not.
It's Artitalia. So tell us a little bit about your business, Marco.
Well, we have a factory in Italy that manufacture from wood floor to furniture to wall cladding, cabinetry, everything basically that for the residential or hospitality. We use in only great material, and we customize almost everything. So
yeah, your work is absolutely fantastic. I mean, we just finished a house in Silverleaf where you did some beautiful floors. You did, I don't know, there's all kinds of stuff you did, I know, but that floor in that dining room is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's beautiful with the metal and oak together with the smoke oak.
Yeah.
That was a great floor.
And we worked with Isabel and her team in coordinating the design for the floor. Then we incorporated it into the ceiling, and it all came together. It's absolutely just beautiful. But you were on our podcast last October when we were in High Point, and you had a nice friend in, Stefano, right?
Stefano, yes. Stefano. We talk about the situation in Italy, about manufacturing, how the manufacturer go in Italy, the tradition, if it's gonna keep going in Italy.
Right.
I mean all the good stuff.
Yeah. So that was before we even had any idea this whole COVID thing was going to happen, and I'm sure. I mean, it took all of us by surprise, but Italy was particularly hard hit by this whole thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was basically was a little bit all of a sudden because nobody could expect this kind of catastrophe that was going to hit Italy, and especially for somebody like me that work especially with Italy, create a lot of issues because a lot of clients we didn't have COVID in the States yet,
right?
In that kind of magnitude, And so a lot of people in the States were concerned to buy from Italian factory, considering that the fact maybe we couldn't deliver, how long going to be closed,
right.
Economy impact, lots of stuff. So fortunately, we've been able to work around this issue, but with lots of difficulties,
yeah.
to be honest with you.
Have you seen it kind of start bouncing back a little bit, or not yet, in terms of people's fear here of those fears?
You know, I think people at the end they get a little bit tired about hearing about COVID, and they want to start working. They want to start doing things. I mean, we had a lot of people that actually they didn't even care too much about it, and they want Italian product, and they really, really push for the Italian product, and they didn't. You know, yes, they were concerned about delivery and stuff like that, but at the end, they were okay. The major problem, I think, was the closure of the factory for a few weeks. That was because put everything in late in delivery.
Yeah, and so
but we are doing fantastic. The factory now in Italy is working all speed and all strength, and we are full until July.
Oh, that's good. So where is your factory? Where is the factory that you're talking about?
The factory is in Bassano del Grappa.
Oh, yeah.
It is a beautiful, beautiful
I was
place.
there in November, and it is a beautiful place. I'm amazed how many times I've had dreams of that place since I was there in November. It was just I'd never heard of it before. And you go across this little river, this beautiful river, not so little, it's a big river. Oh my gosh, it was gorgeous. And you go across this little bridge into this like old city, and there was all these great, and they drink grappa, and they drink another drink. I forget what it's called, but
yeah, because we are on the feet of the Monte Grappa.
Oh
basically,
my gosh.
The grappa come from the mountain, and the grappa name come from the mountain Monte Grappa.
Yeah,
and it's a typical of the area, you know.
Well, it's fantastic. We had great food, great drinks.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, and but that's all of that northern Italy area that really got hit hard by the COVID-19, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially the Milan area, that's where been hit terrible. I mean, finally, just lately, it looks like numbers are decreasing almost to zero, and but Milan was the heart of the COVID spread all over Italy. And where we stayed, we've been a little bit help from luck, put it this way, and we didn't been hit that hard like Milan. But you know, every governor in a different region has his own. We have, you know, the real lockdown, not like here. Maybe New York they did, but the lockdown, people could never go out on the streets, only for maybe a small walk or buying food. And you had to have a document to go around, like a paperwork.
Yeah.
That is, if you don't have, you're going to be arrested.
Yeah, it was much tougher. I had friends in Spain that said the same thing. I mean, I had friends in Spain that were stuck in their apartment for almost 2 months. You know, they couldn't go out at all.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think they were allowed to go, like you said, with the paperwork to go get groceries and stuff like that. But that was about it. You know, maybe the pharmacy.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's bouncing back from what you're hearing, and you know, the things you talk to and the people you talk to. Is it starting to get back to normal in Italy?
Yeah, it does. Got to normal. This morning I talked to one of my friend in the factory, and he was telling me that right now everybody's mandatory to wear the mask, but you know, he said a couple of weeks the mask you need to get rid of the mask too. So, and things are getting way, way better. I mean, but it's going to be effect until we're not going to have a vaccine.
Right.
The soccer is next week is going to start again. So that's a good sign, but no public, no people to go see it.
Wow.
And you know, it's going to be affected until restaurants going to be affected. Tourism is going to be affected.
Yeah,
very badly.
big time.
So.
Yeah, I mean, we were supposed to be in Spain. We were supposed to be coming home from Spain tomorrow, and we have delayed our. Let's just say we've delayed our Italy trip for October, I'm still, there's still a little part of me that thinks we can go. I don't know for sure. I'm really concerned about what's going to happen this fall. If there's going to be a resurgence of COVID cases, and I'd hate to be there, in October, and all of a sudden they close everything down, and I'm stuck there for, 5 months or something.
I know. I think it'll be fine in October. I don't see any problem. It's more how people will feel to travel. That's the only thing I feel.
Yeah. And so I'm going to be interviewing my good friend Elizabeth Wholey, who's an American, but lives in Umbria, and she just flew back a couple weeks ago. So we're going to talk to her about her whole trip home and what she went through. And I read her story notes, and it's pretty interesting what she had to go through to get from San Francisco to Umbria. So it's definitely not normal. And I think for Americans to travel there, it's pretty difficult right now still. So
yeah, and plus traveling, with the mask on the plane.
Yeah, that's what she said. She had to keep that mask on the entire time, and as soon as she got to Italy, she has to still self-quarantine for 2 weeks, even though she has no signs or symptoms. So if you're going to go there to visit for 2 weeks and you're in quarantine the whole time, what's the point, right? So.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just crazy, just completely crazy what's happening to this world, unfortunately.
Yeah. So talking about that, your showroom is in Old Town Scottsdale, right?
Yeah.
And so
you know what happened.
Yeah. So we've been worried about the pandemic all this time, and then last Saturday you were virtually defending your showroom, weren't you?
Yeah, and it was completely unexpected because. Basically, all the big stores in the mall, they were warned about this problem.
Yep.
And actually, it was my daughter's birthday Sunday, so we were in this resort, and I started listening the news that the downtown Scottsdale was under attack.
Wow.
So I decided, in pajama, basically, to go with a baseball bat because I don't carry gun.
Yeah.
To see what to stay inside my showroom to see what was the issue,
right?
And it was horrible. It was terrible. I mean, there was like a civil war, and I had to defend with a baseball bat my neighbor that somebody was trying to enter with rocks and throw rocks against his windows.
Yeah, and this is in Old Town. This is not Scottsdale Fashion Square. This is Old Town that this was happening.
Old Town.
On Saturday night.
Oh, Old Town.
Yeah.
No, it was Old Town. And actually, Old Town probably was the most scary because the Fashion Square was empty.
Yeah.
They enter, destroy empty stores. But here, lots of owner of stores actually knowing what happened, they actually came down to defend their own property.
Wow.
And I have to tell you, now looking backwards, I say I was crazy to come because I could have been
ugly.
Easily, could have been ugly.
Yeah.
So I found how you say the thing for the punch on front of my showroom. The metal you put on knock the rust knuckle on front of my door, and I give it to the police because I say it's actually I find out it's worse if you own one of those. It's worse than owning a gun.
Wow.
So
crazy. I don't think people had a clue how bad it really was. I mean, I think you saw the few videos at Scottsdale Fashion Square, but it was a lot more widespread than I think people realized.
Oh yeah, that on Fifth Avenue, basically, where close to the Earth and Image.
Yeah.
There was actually fighting with the guns, and there was actually a jeweler that with 10 guys, full arm. They were in. And then there was a militia here.
Yeah. Going
around, and I all of a sudden I saw 2 guys coming to my store. One has a gun on his side, and he knocked on my door. I open the door. I say, "What's your problem? Are you a looter or are you are the owner?" I say, "I'm the owner." "Oh, okay." I say, "What are you doing here?" "We have guns." So we are. I say patrol all the area. There were 2 young 25-year-old kids.
Huh.
So.
Yeah, I mean that whole situation could have got way out of hand. It could have gotten so much worse. I mean, it was bad enough as it was, but it could have been a lot worse. So that had to be just absolutely horribly scary. And so, how long were you there till like 5 a.m. or what?
until 3 a.m.
Wow.
But I left because I was going around with the car too to see everything's fine. I didn't want to stay inside because after those people came in and told me that, I was thinking, okay, maybe somebody's going to look inside the store and think I am a looter too.
Yeah.
And maybe they're going to shoot me. I don't know.
You don't know. I mean, how do you know?
You have all these things come in your head, and I was not used to stuff like that.
Yeah.
But,
and luckily I slept through the whole damn thing. I went to bed about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and woke up around 4, and I'm looking at my phone, and I'm just like, what the heck is going on? So I woke up Isabel, and we drove down to Old Town around 5 a.m. and saw the aftermath of, what had happened down there. And we're like, well, this is insane, So we basically went to her store.
There was a poor attendant at the chop house that's being dragged out of the store, out of the restaurant.
Crazy,
I mean,
yeah.
it was
And her store is just a few blocks from there, not even, a few hundred yards. And so we just basically said, we're packing her up. Let's just get all your stuff out of here. Because you had no idea what might happen the next night. Thank God nothing did. But I don't think we're still out of the woods entirely. I mean, you saw what one event can do to trigger this. And you got all these people that are, virtually not working right now. And I don't know. It was a powder keg that was ready to go off, and it went off,
And the sad part is also if they destroy your store, insurance is not going to pay for it. So that's why it came, because you don't get reimbursed for anything. So
no. Yeah, so you've been dealing with the COVID thing. Now you're dealing with the rioting in Scottsdale of all places. I mean, it's been a tough year, hasn't it?
I know, it's just crazy. One thing after the other. You think you're done with COVID. You think you're enough with COVID. Then you have these things happen that
Hey, and it's scary. It's not even the first half of the year's over yet. We're still in the first 6 months. So
I know.
Who knows, right?
I know.
Now, do you have any plans to go to Italy anytime soon, or what's? Because you go quite often. How often do you normally go?
I go. Last year I went five times. Last year.
Yep.
This year twice already, and I was planning to go for the Milan show.
Yeah, we were gonna go. We were gonna be there too. We were planning on going to the Milan show, and then obviously had to cancel that.
It's not gonna happen. It didn't happen. They're gonna basically gonna be canceled completely. So they're gonna be next year in April again. And then I go there to the factory, and see also my family.
Yep.
But right now I don't know, because I can even go see my dad, because I had to quarantine myself before seeing my father for 14 days.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
it's not worth it.
Where's the time to quarantine 14 days?
Right.
I don't know.
Well, I'd be curious to see when they lift that. I think they're going to be pretty cautious about lifting that. I bet you it's going to be in place for quite a while, my guess. But you never know.
Yeah, and especially because still we are, in Italy, in Europe, the numbers are decreasing quite a bit. In America, not really.
Now they're going up here in Arizona.
We're going up in certain areas. So.
Yeah, but the tourism part of the economy is such a major part of the European economy, and particularly Italy, that at some point, I think at some point the numbers will just say, you know what, we got to start getting people back here, because people need to get back to work, and we need tourism dollars, So I think.
I know. If the lift is going to be a great thing for tourism.
Yeah.
Especially because if you go to a beach or everything, the social distancing is going to be fantastic how to enjoy a beach, because you have to be 6 feet from each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And usually it's packed beach. So.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how long all of that will last. Because I've even noticed here, I went to a couple restaurants in the last week, and every week it seems like it's the 6 feet gets to 5 feet, and then to 4 feet, and then to 2 feet, and it seems like it's shrinking.
I call it 6 inches now.
It's shrinking pretty fast, don't you think?
I know, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think honestly, I think I think as the COVID increased the number, also because they lift the stay-at-home, the stay-at-home request,
right.
And so people going out and has more contact with people. Of course, the infection is going to increase,
right.
But doesn't mean that it's increasing in a wrong way. It's increasing because more people are outside and talk to each other.
and more people are getting tested too. More people are getting tested, and so I think the numbers are going up. Now in Italy, why do you think Italy was particularly hard hit? Do you think because of the close quarters, generations living together in small quarters? I mean, I guess that's what I thought it was causing it.
I know there is so many theory there. In any, there is so many theory that the vaccine they got the vaccine, especially in Lombardy, they got a vaccine that was already a novelty, and there was basically when the COVID-19 came, with a much more fury and everything. Those are all things nobody knows.
Nobody
knows what happened now. Nobody knows. I think probably they talk about focolaio. Basically, the focolaio is where a new
strain or
part. Strains of this COVID started was in Milan, and there was one of the strongest. The virus was very strong, very, very powerful at that time, and that's what happened. But who knows? I mean, who knows? I mean,
how often do you?
Rome, nothing, almost
hardly nothing, right? In Umbria either. From the people I've talked to in Umbria, really not much. It's mostly in northern Italy. It seemed like, from what I heard.
Yeah, Milan, and Emilia Romagna, Bologna, been very, very.
And Venice.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, how often do you talk to people over in Italy? Like virtually every day?
Oh, I have at least 20, 30 phone calls a day.
Well, your products.
I call them every single day.
Yeah, I mean, I encourage anyone to check out your showroom. Is it by appointment only, or how does it work?
Of course, it's to the trade only.
Yeah.
So it's.
So talk to Isabel.
Open. People can come in whatever they want, but it's always encouraging to do a appointment always, because sometime I'm going to see some site or some appointments, or I'm going to California. I'm going to not now, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
But it always better to get an appointment. But everybody's welcome anytime.
Yeah, well, your products are absolutely fantastic and amazing, and
with the COVID now, we're gonna have probably gonna get some nice wines, nice drinks, so people can always come enjoy. You're more than welcome to come and see us.
Well, that's why I love always seeing you in High Point, because you always have this beautiful prosciutto and some prosecco.
That's what we want to replicate here. And we just finishing up the remodeling, because we just remodel again. So
wow, well, we'll have to come check that out for sure. So
yes, please.
Thank you for your time, Marco. It's great to get an update, and I'll probably check in with you in a month or two and see how things are through the summer, and then maybe this fall, and hopefully we'll maybe see each other in October in High Point, if not sooner. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a 10 days High Point market, but it's okay.
It sounds good. All right, my friend. Ciao for now.
Okay, my friend. Thank you so much, Mark. It's always a pleasure.
You bet, my friend. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Okay, thanks for checking in with us, Marco. Now we are going to go across the pond to London, England, and talk to my good friend Flavio Casagrande, who is a window rep in northern Italy, but he is stuck in London. And so we'll get his perspective there in England and kind of what he sees coming and going in Italy. Okay, I'm up early this morning, and I'm talking to my good friend Casa Flavio in Flavio, not Casa Flavio. Yeah. Flavio. Casagrande.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right.
And you're in London, right, my friend?
Yeah.
And you said things are still shut down in London.
Yeah, everything is closed. People is moving on the tube and the public transportation, but just people going the job site. The building construction is open now, but all the restaurant, all the stores, everything is closed. Just the pharmacy and supermarket open.
That's it. So we're starting to open up pretty good here in Arizona, and I think maybe it has something to do with the 110-degree temperatures. But our cases are actually been going up here lately. So I don't know if we opened too soon or what's happened, but we're still working from home at Candelaria Design. We're still playing it safe. But Flavio, you're a good friend. You hosted us in northern Italy on the end of our Candelaria tour in September, and we had a great time. You were such a gracious host and introduced us to so
Yeah,
many
it was
wonderful people there around northern Italy, and it was fabulous.
Was nothing, just a couple of Prosecco glasses. That's it.
It was a fun day, and you took us around, and we had some I don't know, with like 100-year-old brandy or something like that. It was amazing. So
Nice. Oh, nothing. You are welcome anytime.
yes.
Just let me know. Yeah.
So how are things in northern Italy? When you touch base with your businesses and partners there, how are things?
Now they are working slowly. They are restart. Everything is open.
Yeah.
And but I think Italy will. I think in Italy it will be a big problem in October,
Do you?
November.
That was my concern, is whether you think it's going to come back in the fall.
Yeah, but we are losing a lot of tourist business.
Yeah.
For example, Venice now is empty.
Wow.
You know, I live. My family live 30 minutes from Venice.
Okay.
It's total empty. The water is good because now it's very clean.
That's what we heard.
Yeah, exactly. But nobody there.
Nobody there, huh?
Chinese and American and UK and nobody there.
Yeah. Well, that's usually who's there when I'm there. It's mostly Asians and Americans and not many Italians.
Now most Italian go there, but Italian normal family has no money.
Wow.
Because we have not the support like here in UK or like in America, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They promise, but
nothing,
still
huh?
Now people has no money from 2-3 months.
Wow.
And the problem is that European community give a lot of money for all the countries. Yeah. But we will get the money maybe February 2021. The problem is you have to arrive at February 21.
Right. Exactly.
And we are in June, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was wondering about that. I mean, I was really concerned about how the economy is going to hold up there. And I'm sure that the longer this goes with no tourists, tourism is such a big part of that economy, right?
Yeah, 15%.
Yeah. So, I mean,
in Spain is 18%, the same situation.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. Even here in UK, I think the big problem we will see here in October, because right now, the government give 80% of the salary to everybody.
Okay.
For the next, for 3-4 months. So in September, everything is done. Yep. And then we will see if people are back to work, back to get the salary, or stay home. If they stay home couple of months, it's not like in Italy. Here, people live with a credit card, more or less like America. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you don't get the parents as the bank account with I don't know, £10,000. Yeah. Here, people live on the credit card. Yeah. So and when the government closed the loan, the money for free, I think we will see the problem.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that from a lot of different angles. That I think September, a lot of things are coming home to roost. And we got an election. We got an election in this country coming up in November, and the stock market right now is virtually at an all-time high again, which is hard to figure out. And so I'm kind of thinking, it might get a little interesting come September around the world again.
I think the big problem in Europe, in UK too, we will see the last 3 months of this year.
Yeah, that's what I think.
First of all, because the money, no money all around. Second one, we will have to see if we restart to work or not. Yep. And third, maybe it's another wave of virus. Yep. And then we will see a big problem.
Yeah, I agree with you. But you're doing fine. You've been healthy, and you're laying low.
No, I'm fine. I'm still working. I have 5 projects in Hampton area.
Good.
I'm honestly, thanks God, I'm lucky. I'm really lucky.
Yeah, that's how we are. We've stayed very busy, which we can't. I still can't believe how busy we are. I think a lot of people are moving to Arizona, by the way. So I think they're getting out of California and the East Coast, and they're coming to a little more open space and a little bit warmer temperatures.
Yeah, no. I got more than 1 million windows to produce right now until the end of this year. So I'm very happy, and more or less I'm the same number the last year, maybe better.
Yeah. So maybe you can't.
Let me check. Yeah.
You can't travel to Italy right now, can you?
No.
Yeah. So between the EU, all the countries, there's no travel going on.
No for example, this is the problem even for the tourists. For example, from Austria to Italy, the border is still closed.
Wow.
And they open between Germany, Poland, Austria, France, Luxembourg, but no Italy.
Yeah.
Yesterday they agree between Italy and Slovenia, Italy and Croatia, Italy and Greece. The problem, for example, people came here in UK. This is a really stupid guy. So in the last 3 months, I think 18 million people came in and out from UK, okay?
Yep.
Without quarantine, without nothing.
Huh.
From Monday, if you came here, you had to stay 14 days in quarantine.
Yeah.
The problem is where?
Yeah.
The hotel are closed.
Yeah. So where do you do it, right? You can't do it anywhere. And I was just talking to my friend Elizabeth, who flew back from the United States, and she's an Italian citizen, so she's got a card and she's got medical needs, and that was the only way she could get back in the country was with that certificate to show that, you know, she had to get back to Italy for her medical. But then as soon as she got back, just like you said, she's in a 14-day quarantine. Luckily, she has a place to live, but you know, anybody else, where do you go? You can't go anywhere.
No, but people, for example, came here in the city for 2 days, trip business, okay?
Yep.
How you can start 14 days?
Yeah, you can't.
And the second question is where?
Yeah.
The hotel are closed.
Yeah, it's crazy. So when do you think that's going to end, that quarantine? Do you think it's going to...
They told 29th of June.
Oh, 29th of June, okay.
Yeah, end of June. But everybody is pushing to ask the government to close the quarantine before. But, you know, they are doing the stupid things. They know well, but they can't say, sorry, I did the fucking things, you know. They have to wait minimum couple of weeks to say, okay, we see everything is okay, we can take off the quarantine.
Yeah. No, it's been interesting. And you know, you look at the social unrest here and the riots and stuff, and so it's trying to see if the cases are going to start going up in this country, but I haven't heard that happening. So I'm just, you know, you kind of wonder how much is really true and what's not true, and it's hard to get the facts. It's hard to get the real data, you know.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm glad you're safe. It's always great to talk to you. So you're not sure when you're going to go back to Italy?
I don't know. I hope next month.
Yeah.
I don't know. My daughter, I hope my daughter, they have a flight ticket for the first week of July to come here.
Okay.
But if it's the quarantine, they can't stay here 14 days.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Nobody knows. We are.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody knows anything.
Yeah, exactly. We are taking day by day.
Yeah, so you can't plan. I mean, you can't spend money on things because you don't know if you're gonna be able to do it. You know. Yeah,
in theory, after 15th of June, more or less, all the European countries will be open.
Interesting.
In theory.
Okay.
We have to wait and next Friday and to know exactly what will happen.
Interesting. Well, I'll probably check back in with you in a few weeks and just kind of see how things are opening up. I'm going to do the same with my other friends from Italy and just kind of keep tabs on you guys and see how it's all transitioning back to what we're going to all call the new normal, I guess, right?
Yeah, we wish.
Well, thanks. Thanks, Flavio. It's great to talk to you as always.
Thank you very much, Mark. Say hello to your wife.
I sure will.
Care, huh?
I'll miss you. We'll see you soon, okay?
Ciao, thanks.
All right, ciao.
Ciao, Mark. Bye-bye.
Okay, my final guest is my dear friend Gabriele Belli in Umbria. He's just outside of Umbria, which is probably maybe an hour and a half southeast of Florence, Italy. And so they have a beautiful showroom there. Started meeting them about 20 years ago when they had a little stone yard on this little side road, and that's turned into this just incredible warehouse that his mom runs. And then his father has the door store across the street, and it's not just like any door store. It's incredible. We did a whole house in Desert Mountain with their beautiful doors, and they're just a fantastic family. Like I said, I've known them for 20 years, and they've been in total lockdown there in Umbria. So let's listen to Gabriele, and ciao for now. Okay, my last guest is a very, very dear friend of mine, Gabriele Belli. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Yes, close enough for an American, right?
Yeah.
I've known this person and his family for over 20 years. We went there for the first time, I think, in 2000, and they were in a little stone yard place along a road, a country road in Umbria, and if you saw their place now, it's absolutely amazing. It's two
Yeah,
places. Two places. So
thank you.
I've got Gabriele Bella here. Good morning. Well, it's good morning for me. It's almost evening for you in Italy, right?
Yeah. It's improving now, but it's better.
Good. Things are getting better. You said things are getting definitely better there than what they've been.
Yeah, seems to be a different life now because it's completely changed for 2-3 months, and now we have come back
Yeah,
to the past. No?
that's awesome. So, during those 2 or 3 months, you guys were pretty much in total lockdown, right? I mean, you could go to the grocery store and to the pharmacy, and that's about it. But you couldn't go to work.
We cannot go to work because they asked us to close the companies.
Yeah.
Just to go for personal reasons, and then you could go to pharmacy, to supermarket, no more.
That's it.
But they suggested not to go, and I think we have to say thank you to the medics because they changed the world,
Yeah.
because it was the only possibility to change the problem and to solve the problems.
Amazing.
And it was difficult, but I can just tell them thank you.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I mean, the situation in Umbria was not as bad as other parts of Italy, like Milano and northern Italy were really hit hard, right?
No, we were lucky because after it was the third best region in Italy, Umbria.
Okay.
So the worst was Lombardia and Piemonte.
Yeah.
Milan in particular.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really bad there. Yeah. Well, I think you're just more spaced out.
Also, Lombardia is improving now. Sorry.
You just have more room in Umbria. You're not so congested and so crowded. You're more in the country.
Sorry, Mark, I haven't understood because there was a problem with the line.
With the line.
Can you repeat?
Yeah, I was just saying that Umbria is more open. It's not so congested. You have more space as opposed to Milan. It's very crowded.
Exactly, because it's more, as you know, now it's more natural.
Yeah.
And instead in Milan, there are many companies and many productions, and so it's more normal that happens.
Yeah. So how has business been for you?
Even if they respect all rules.
Yeah. There's been really. It's hard to have any business where you are because no travelers, no tourists. Are you doing most of your business just online, or how are you keeping operational?
Yes, all online, talking by phone, like in the past, no?
Yeah.
And now, from the last week, people coming from the other regions in Italy could come back here.
Gotcha.
So now we have solved the problem. I hope we have to be careful, stay careful, because waiting the next winter coming, I don't know what will be happening. So in the summer, it's difficult to have a big temperature, this problem, no?
Right.
But when the winter will come back, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying. Everybody's very worried about the fall that I talk to, both in your country and our country. And actually here in Arizona, our cases are starting to go up right now. We've had a 49% increase just in the last couple weeks. So we're finally kind of catching the wave in our hospitals. From what I hear, are at capacity. So we're kind of in the thick of it right now. But they've already lifted the order so that we can go back to restaurants, and so that we might have reacted too soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Now everything is open. Also, the restaurant and the hotel I've opened last week, but there must be a good distance between the tables. Should be 5 meters. I don't know so much because, like you, Mark, I prefer to cook at home to be a cooker, no?
Well, your family's a good cook. How was your mother and father?
They are fine.
Good.
My father was here a few minutes ago at
Good.
work.
Well,
my mother is still in the other company.
Oh yes. Well, tell them I say hello for sure. I've got some great pictures we're gonna post on this podcast. So I'm excited to share those with you. And just so my listeners know, Gabriele and I worked together on a fabulous home in Desert Mountain, and him and his crew came out and they installed beautiful doors, millwork. It's an amazing house, and it'll be published. It's probably going to be published here pretty soon. So I can't wait to share all the fabulous things that you guys did there. And great clients, right?
Yeah. I love also Phyllis because I talked with her during this morning.
Oh, did you?
During this day. So, yes, she wrote me many times by mail to ask me the situation and so on. So we are great. She's not only customer, but in particular, she's a great friend.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And that's what we love about working with you guys, and most of the people in Italy. You guys, everyone there always approaches everything in a real family spirit, and it's something that I've adopted in my business model. It's like I really believe, business is one thing, but family is forever, and so when we do business, we do it in the same manner. It's all about family. So yeah.
In fact, I love.
So I learned a lot. I learned a lot from you and your family and how you do business, and I always look forward to every tour that we do in our Candelaria tour. We always make a point to stop at your two beautiful showrooms.
Yeah, thank you.
So we're hoping. Right now we've got our trip for this September canceled because we're just not sure we can even go, and so we're going to try to regroup for next year in 2021, and hopefully can make it out there then.
Yeah.
So
I don't know exactly because the politics and who decide can give you information now because they have to wait what is happening.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. It's hard to get good information. I mean, you just don't. No one really knows what to do or say, and so it's difficult.
I hope so because I want to see you again.
I want to see you again too, my friend. Well,
I also would like to come in Arizona.
Well, we would love to have you back here in Arizona again. This time you could come and just relax a little bit, see a little more of the state.
Yeah.
Eat some good food.
I would like to come tomorrow, if possible.
Well, good to see you, and thank you for doing this for us.
Thanks to you, Mark.
You stay safe, okay? You stay safe.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Thanks so much.
We'll talk to you later.
Say hello to everyone.
Ciao, my friend.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
I want to say a big thank you to my good friends at Stockett Tile and Granite Company, where your project is our priority. The Stockett team, along with so many others, are wrapping up the final details on our demonstration kitchen at our new expansion of our Candelaria design offices. We have started our online video cooking classes, and our kitchen is amazing. I have had the pleasure of working with the Stockett team for nearly 40 years on some amazing projects, and trust me, they are the epitome of excellence when it comes to tile, marble, and granite. Work bar none. Their skill and customer service is impeccable, and the bottom line is they are just good people. I have traveled with, dined with, and just had good times, both personally and professionally, with Dave Stockett and his lovely wife, Becky, and they are the best. When it comes to your next kitchen, make sure Stockett Tile and Granite is a part of your team. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed our podcast. We encourage you to write a review, screenshot it, and share it with your friends. Please instant message it to me and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We thank you for listening, and we look forward to sharing more insights to inspiring living next week.